Now we stay on Middle East. The Trump administration is reportedly pushing for countries to pay $1 billion fee to join President Donald Trump's so-called Board of Peace. According to media reports, the draft charter that says that Trump would serve as the board's inaugural chairman. Moreover, the membership for each country is limited to 3-year terms and is only renewable at the discretion of the chairman. However, the White House has denied the report, calling it misleading and clearly asserting that there is no required membership fee to join the board. Instead, the White House claims that countries would earn permanent membership based on their commitment to peace and security. Now, for this discussion, we welcome back Mr. Matthew Adam. He's an author and journalist, joins us live from Washington, D.C. Thank you very much, Mr. Adam, for staying with us. Now, where is these accusations or, conspiracy coming in from? What do you think of and although the Trump administration has denied those?
The Trump administration has denied that countries will have to pay $1 billion to join this Board of Peace.
Yes, and 3-year term.
Right. Well, he denied it, so we don't know what the truth is just yet. Perhaps the truth will emerge in the next few days. You can't put a lot of stock necessarily in anonymous reports. However, I suspect that Trump doesn't like the idea of the United States having to pay out of pocket for everything in the world, and he likes the idea of other countries having to share some of the financial burden with the United States. And in that view, wanting the board to be funded by the member countries, I guess it makes sense. $1 billion sounds like a crazy, ridiculously high amount to you and me, but it isn't for major countries. Maybe he's looking at the nonprofit model that's used in the United States. I was part of the nonprofit sector for more than a decade, and in it, nonprofits often invite large donors to be members of their board of directors or board of trustees. So maybe he's thinking of that. I don't think if the $1 billion fee membership rumor happens to be true, that he's trying to enrich the United States. This peace board, or whatever it ends up being formally called in the end, is going to have some expenses. It's going to have to fund its operations, and it's not really clear how extensive those operations are going to be. Is it going to be like a little miniature United Nations that just has a mission to bring peace to the world? It's not really clear just yet. So, the idea of the $1 billion fee sounds kind of wacky in the beginning, but maybe it's not, and we'll have to wait to see, first off, if the rumor is true, and if it is true, then what the justification for the fee is, and then the member countries would have to decide if they actually want to, if it matters enough to them that they actually want to pay it.
And what do we know so far about this, like you mentioned, the mini United Nations? What do we know so far about this?
We don't know a lot about it because we just have basically, we have a lot of news reports citing anonymous sources, but I think it's based on the Gaza Board of Peace, but he wants it to have an expanded mission, and he's hoping that his foreign policy successes, tentative though they are in Gaza, are going to, and in other places where they're less tentative, that it's going to inspire these countries to want to participate in this Board of Peace. So, a lot of these details are really fuzzy, kind of nebulous at this point, and so it's really hard to talk about what shape this Board of Peace is actually going to take.
Right. And do we know, although a lot of things are still under the wraps, do we know which countries are willing to join, or which countries will be joining so far, or at least people
Well, we just have reports that Turkey may be interested. It's not certain, but I think Canada and Argentina have reportedly accepted invitations to join President Trump's Board of Peace. So there's been some interest so far, and we'll have to wait and see if other countries express interest in joining it. I'm not based on what little we know about it so far. I'm really not comfortable, expressing an opinion on whether it's a good idea or not.
Yes, 100%. And do you think that, as peace board is being made right now, and like you mentioned, there is still a lot of things under the wraps. What do you think about the phase two? How do you think this will be affecting the implementation of phase two of the ceasefire plan in Gaza?
I don't know that it's going to affect it at all. Phase two is about disarming Hamas and setting up this transitional authority, this technocratic authority, this board of experts and so on, technocrats, to govern Gaza. So I don't think that these two efforts are moving in opposite directions. So I don't see how it would be a hindrance to to what the United States is hoping to achieve in Gaza.
And do you think that there could be any disagreements between Israel, U.S., and some countries who will be, pushing for part two of this ceasefire right now?
But there already is disagreement. There's disagreement. Israel, did they ever get that last body back that they were hoping for?
No.
I haven't paid attention for the last few days, but look, that body is still outstanding, and they claim that means that that the Gazans are in default of the first phase of the peace plan, and then the Gazans, the Palestinians, claim that Israel still has troops in Gaza, which also I think is not supposed to be happening under phase one of the Gaza peace plan. So there are already disagreements, and anything having to do with the Middle East is always messy, and it's one step forward and then two steps back, and I don't think these disagreements between Israel and Gaza and Hamas are just going to magically evaporate because President Trump suddenly has decided he wants to create an international board of peace.
Yeah, 100%. So do you think that President Trump understands the fact that no one has been successful in decades in mediating between Gaza and Palestine and Israel, and so many things have been decided, and like you mentioned, one step ahead and then two steps back with this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think President Trump probably appreciates the fact that he's operating in really rough, uncertain terrain, but he is, stubborn. Some would say pig-headed, and he is trying to accomplish it anyway because he thinks that he's a peacemaker, that he's a master deal maker, and that he thinks that he can negotiate anything. And he was successful in his first term with the Abraham Accords, which was a major foreign policy success for the United States. Got a lot of countries, Arab countries that were hostile to Israel, to suddenly be friendly to Israel, or at least be neutral towards Israel. So, I think he's hoping to build on the success of his past achievements, such as the Abraham Accords. So, this isn't coming out of nowhere. He's trying to build on what he's already done.
Right. With that, I would like to thank Mr. Matthew Adam for joining us today and sharing that deep insight with us on NewsX World.